Hello everyone, good evening, wherever you are in right now in the world. Have a nice evening here in Europe, in Switzerland, guten Abend, in the other parts of the world, in Asia. Have a nice dawn. It's already dawn there now. And the other part of the world, have a nice day, right? And today, let's talk about typhoon na sumasalanta sa Pilipinas, specifically doon sa mga lugar na kung saan ay natamaan tulad ng Rizal at Quezon City at ibang pang mga lugar, at tumaas ngayon yung level ng tubig sa may ilog ng Marikina. Right? So, sana mag-ingat ang bawat isa sa Pilipinas sa bagyong ito, dahil hindi po basta-basta at hindi biro-biro kapag merong bagyong dumarating. Ito ay kabilang sa mga sakuna. Alright? So, ipanalangin natin ang Pilipinas, nawa ay tagumpayan ang lahat ng mga sakuna na dumating sa ating bansa. So, kani-kanina lang meron akong natanggap na isang balita or isang update na kung saan ang kaganapan ngayon sa Rizal, malakas ang hangin at walang kuryente. Alright? So, brown out doon. At sa mga ibang bahagi din ng Quezon City, nagliparan yung mga harang doon sa mga harap ng kondominium. So, matindi itong hangin na ito, bagyo sa Pilipinas. So, kailangan nating ipanalangin dahil walang kuryente ngayon doon sa mga lugar na kung saan ay nasalanta ng bagyong ito. So, kailangan nating panalangin nawa yung bawat isa na nandoon nakatira sa malapit sa ilog, nawa ay lumikas sila ng mas maaga para maiwasan ang peligro. Alright? Para maiwasan ang peligro, dahil kapag dumating itong mga ganitong sakuna, bagyo, hindi maiiwasan yung baha sa bawat sulok, lalo na yung sa mga malapit sa ilog. Napakadelikado yon. So, napakadelikado. Kapag nasa malapit sa ilog, so kailangan lumikas ng mas maaga kapag meron ng update or news na parating na yung bagyo. Alright? So, katulad ngayon, yung bagyo ay ang mata niya ay nasa Rizal, Quezon City. At wala ngayong supply ng kuryente. Brown out. Alright? At malakas yung ihip ng hangin at ulan. Alright? So, sana walang mga aksidente na magaganap. So, ingat-ingat lang sa ating mga kababayan dyan sa Pilipinas. Alright? So, panalangin natin. Isama natin sa panalangin yon. Nawa yung ating mga kababayan ay safety sila sa lahat ng mga darating na sakuna. Okay? Sa lahat ng mga darating na sakuna. So, kailangan natin ay panalangin. Kailangan nating idulog sa panalangin, nawa ang lahat ng mga dumarating na mga ganitong pangyayari ay magiging safety ang bawat isa, at lalo na yung mga supply din na kuryente, tubig, nawa ay maibalik din agad, hindi pagsantabi. Alright? So, sa ngayon, walang kuryente, walang tubig, wala silang ilaw. So, tiis-tiis lang muna at makakaraos din. Alright? So, yung merong mga electric rechargeable battery, ay charge siya bago pa mag-brown out. So, isang lesson din sa atin yan, na kapag merong mga ganitong mga sakuna, merong mga update, merong mga news na may paparating na bagyo, yung mga rechargeable natin na mga batteries, rechargeable lights, i-charge natin palagi para ready tayo sa lahat ng darating na brownout. Alright? Merong magagamit, lalo na yung mga power bank para sa ating mga gadget, sa cellphone, para mayroong magamit sa pag-charge. At the same time, yung ilaw din, pag rechargeable, i-charge din yan siya para may magamit din na ilaw during sa brownout. Okay? So, isang lesson din. Marami tayong mga matutunan. Mega shout out to Jeff's house, United States, from United States, Alabama. Thank you very much for visiting our house, small house here. We were talking about a typhoon in the Philippines because they are now in signal number 3 in the Philippines, most specifically in Rizal region, Rizal and Quezon City. Who were you talking to? It says nobody's in here. I'm just only giving an update. It's okay. At least you are here, right? At least you are here, and thank you for visiting this house, all right? So I think some of our friends and viewers from this house is already sleeping at the moment, because mostly they are from Asia and they are now facing the typhoon, which is tremendous strong wind and rain in the Philippines, and they also encountered brownouts. They don't have electricity at the moment. Wow, you are good at. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeff, for visiting here and for passing here in our small house. You are much welcome. You are very much welcome here, and thank you for your time being here. At least you are here with me, all right, on this night. So tonight it is what time is it here? It is 7 o'clock Europe time here in Switzerland. So I'm just only giving the updates for those who will watch this later on. So feel free to share your thoughts, your comments, and your ideas, and I will be glad to send you a response later on. All right? By the way, if you are new to this house here, my name is MM, and I'm currently live from Switzerland. All right? So if we have not met yet before, and if you are new here, don't forget to click the like button and hit the share and bell notifications for you to be updated for more upcoming videos and games here. All right. So mega shout out to Andreas K. Thank you for coming or passing by here in our small house for tonight, Europe time. Magandang gabi. Hope hurricane will pass without making any big damage. Yes, let's pray for it. The hurricane you're really very, very, very scary, most especially now, this time, 7 o'clock Europe time, but it's already dawn in Asia, in the Philippines, and they already experiencing brownout at the moment. and they don't have electricity anymore, and the wind is so strong. All right, very strong wind, and at the same time the rain is very, very strong. So let's include in our prayer the Philippines and some other parts, like in the north side of the Philippines as well. There are lots of floods. It's already flooded in some area there in the north part of the Philippines. So it is very, very, very dangerous, most especially when during these calamities, hurricane, most especially for those people who are living nearby to the river. Like for example, in the river of Marikina, it's the biggest river in Manila. And when the typhoon arrives, the water grows and grow, then it will create a huge flood, right? So let's include it in our prayer tonight, that this typhoon will pass and go to the ocean, somewhere wherein nobody will be damaged and nobody will suffer. All right, so hopefully that the Lord will blow it somewhere in the oceans, in the Pacific Oceans area. So it's very dangerous. Some other parts of the Philippines at the moment that we were suffering from difficulties during this tremendous hurricane, tremendous typhoon. The Philippines, it is the country wherein every year there is always a typhoon. The typhoon really loves to visit this country, and that is why the previous years it was also happened in somewhere in Visayas region. All right, so napakahirap kapag merong malakas na bagyo, lalo na kapag yung bahay ay gawa lang ng light materials at malakas yung bagyo. So napakadali lang sirain ng bagyo. So kaya kailangan talaga na kapag meron tayong marinig na balita sa lahat ng mga residente sa Pilipinas, kapag tayo ay nakatira sa malapit sa ilog, malapit sa mga risky places na madadaanan ng typhoon, na madadaanan ng baha, kailangan tayo lumikas. Lumikas tayo ng mas maaga para maiwasan natin yung disgrasya. Alright? At marami tayong matututunan kapag merong mga ganitong pangyayari na mga sakuna. Alright? So, marami tayong mga lessons to learn when there are lots of different kinds of tragedies and typhoons like this, earthquakes. But let's bring it all to prayer na sana the Lord will reduce the wind, the speed of the wind, and sana ay lahat ng mga bahay na nasira ngayon, lahat ng mga ari-arian ngayon na nawasak, nawa ay makarecover sila ng mas maaga, mas mabilis makarecover, at matustusan yung mga pangangailangan nila kahit mga basic needs lang, nawa ay mabigyan agad ng ating gobyerno sa Pilipinas. So napakahirap, lalo na yung mayroong mga maliliit na anak, maliit na bata. So napakahirap kapag merong ganitong sakuna, walang kuryente. Kapag walang kuryente, may init. At kapag meron kang baby, napakahirap kasi mag-iiyakan yun. Alright? Mag-iiyakan. So, kailangan nating ipanalangin na sana bumalik na yung kuryente at humupa na yung bagyo. Ngayon lang may nabasa akong balita, may nakarating na balita na yung mata ng bagyo ay nasa Rizal at Quezon City. Oh, I don't understand Tagalog. Salamat sa information. Oh, sorry, Miss Andreas K. You can understand Tagalog, but kudos to you because at least you can speak even a little Tagalog, like magandang gabi. Yes, that is you're already speaking Tagalog a little bit. Magandang gabi. That is a very great words. That is good evening. Yes, I know a bit English. All right. Yes. Congratulations to you, Andres and Kay, for learning, speaking our language, Tagalog. Magandang gabi. It's a good evening. Yes, it's a good evening. But I'm from Lithuania. All right. So, how is Lithuania at the moment? Andreas K. Keep safe always in your area, in your place, Lithuania. We were now also having with this COVID at the moment, and here in Switzerland we still have a COVID, and the other parts of the world they were experiencing both COVID-19 at the same time, hurricane and typhoon. So it's very difficult to face two different tragedy. Typhoon, at the same time, there is a tremendous COVID-19 with this virus. So they were fighting both of them, both of this one. So I hope that everybody is safe from all of these tragedies, all of these typhoons and all of these diseases. All right. So we are always include it in prayer. We always include it in prayer that everybody is safe from all of this risk happening all over the world, and all of this pandemic as well that is not yet over. It's not yet done with this pandemic. So let's also include the other parts of the world who are still suffering and facing the pandemic and COVID-19 at the moment, that still fighting from COVID-19. And at the moment, the Philippines is now in the eyes of the typhoon. The hurricane, it is landed already in Rizal and Quezon City. And hopefully that tomorrow will be okay, and everything, the electricity will be back tomorrow, because it's a basic necessity for every houses. All right, so it's very difficult, and hopefully that there will be no such big damages left from this typhoon from Philippines. All right, there, and they can recover easily. So it is very challenging. It's very challenging. So all of this happening in our life, with all of these tragedies, different kinds of pandemic, it is part of the challenge in our life. All right, so our life here is full of challenges, and we should be strong, and we must have to face the challenge bravely. All right, with the prayer to our Lord. We need to include and always to bring it always to the Lord. Whatever we face, whatever challenges that we encounter in life, we should not forget to pray. That is very important. So during the pandemic time and during the difficulties time in life, we found out sometimes that life is too short. Okay? And jobs and money is useless. All right? After all, this pandemic gives a lot of suffering from all peoples who experience with this pandemic, from all the people who really got with this COVID. They experience difficulties, and that is the real challenge. And if they recover it, so they are very brave to win the battle. So by God's grace, they conquer it. So, and that is why we should have to put the trust in the Lord. In God we trust. All right. So in God we trust for every calamities, like in the Philippines. So today, a while ago, I received a message that it's a very, very, very strong wind. All right. So usually in the Philippines, it was happened already 2 years ago. It was in the Visayas area, wherein the whole place, almost of the whole place was flattened, and a lot of people died because of tremendous strong typhoon, and all of the houses was been destroyed. So there was a lot of damage done by different kinds of typhoon that hits Philippines. So Philippines always encountered every year. So, and that is why the Philippines knows it, that there will be always typhoon every year, and it is always in the midst of, from July, it's starting already to rain, and the typhoon comes in the midst of November, October, and up to December still have a lot of typhoon that we heard. So we have to keep safe and be ready just to prepare with all of this kit, with this medicine kit if it is needed. Opo, be blessed from Andreas. Opo, be blessed. Philippines is not a safest place to live because of the weather, but there live very friendly people. Yes, Andreas K. It is not safe during calamities, but Philippines is the happiest country. It is more fun in the Philippines without typhoon, because in the Philippines there are lots of islands, and in that islands it seems, and it's very, very, very wonderful. It's like a paradise. All right. So there are islands there wherein the typhoon is not visiting on that island. It's very rare, and it's very wonderful and very, very relaxing place. It's like in Dumaguete. There is an island in Dumaguete, and there is a very beautiful beach resort there. And it's like really, it feels like you are in a paradise when you spend your time to have a vacation there. All right. And at the moment, that place, that island in Dumaguete, the typhoon is not there. The eye of the typhoon is not there. So they are safe on that area. And the place now that is now suffering from typhoon is in Manila area. All right. In Manila, including Rizal and Quezon City. All right. So, but in the other part of the Philippines, they are now safe. They are still having a luxury life, peaceful life in an island wherein no disturbances, and it's very, 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 very calm and very relaxing. All right. So that is the only disadvantage that I can see during the time of typhoon in the Philippines, most especially those places that are usually visited by typhoons. Like for example, in some area in Leyte, the typhoons is always visiting on that place. But this year, by God's grace, it is not so hard. It is not so strong. But still, there's still typhoon who visited that visited on this place in Leyte, and in some other like Lomron, now as well in somewhere in Bicol area also in the Philippines. It takes a lot of hours to travel from Manila going to the Bicol. They also encountered typhoons and floods. So very, very huge floods, and a lot of trees were falling down from the streets. They were a lot of trees. So because of very strong wind and rain. All right, so let's include as well the Bicol region because they also suffered from typhoon. Where else? In some other parts of north in NCR, in National Capital Region, they suffered as well. The typhoon also hit on this area. So let's include all of them in prayer. All right. The most very scary thing is when there is a flood, when the water is growing, when the water is, became very, very deep, and your house will be already going to, from the water. So that is the most tremendous things happen. When all of your belongings, when all of your appliances was already covered by water, then that is the most tremendous things happen. But the most important is our life. All right. So whatever happened, just keep yourself safe. Go to the place wherein it is in a higher area wherein you can evacuate together with your families. And like for example, some of our governments are provided with evacuation areas in the schools, in the concrete buildings belongs to the government. So beware and be always cautious and be always attentive in every news from our Pag-asa, what we call this is the news for our weather forecasting in the Philippines. When there is a news that the typhoon will landfall in this hour, in this day, so just don't waste time to go to the evacuation area if you know, and if we know that our place is not safe, most especially when we are near to the river. All right, so that is the most important thing, and that we can pray always to those people, children, and everybody who lost their belongings and their things because of floods. And the worst is that they lost their loved ones. Some of their loved ones are missing because of floods, and it flushed by the floods. So that is the worst thing also happens also during these calamities. All right, so let's always include in prayer. it is very important to include in prayer. All right. So what else we can give an update pertaining with this typhoon, so that everybody is be aware and everybody is very cautious during different kinds of calamities. We must have to buy food earlier. So before the landfall, we must have to buy food or stock food, even canned goods or some noodles. It is the most important thing. Like it's a very fast. We need a fast food during calamities. So it's very important to have a foods, canned goods that we can stock in our drawer. All right. So it's very difficult in the Philippines to go out when it is very, very, very strong wind, because all of this galvanizing iron, there is a tendency that it flew away, it fly away. And this galvanizing iron, if it will hit your neck, here it will hit your body, then it can create tremendous wound, or it can destroy you, or it is not really safe. All right. And there is a tetanus also with that galvanized iron, tetanus, because of the rust, if it is rusty galvanized iron. So we must be aware, and we must be always to be very cautious in every corner. We should have to be very, very, very also attentive from the news, update of the news, very attentive of what is going on in our weather today, and so that we can prepare earlier. All right. So it is very important. And for those kababayan, for our fellow men in the Philippines now that suffered and feel afraid because of the heavy wind, just be still and be calm. It will pass. All right, it will be okay. After the rain, there is a saying that after the rain there will be a rainbow. All right. So after the rain, there will be a rainbow. After the difficulties, there will be a sunshine. After the storm, there will be a sunshine. All right. So just be calm, be still, and pray. Pray to the Lord that the Lord will calm the wind, will stop the wind, and so that everything will be back to normal. The electricity will be back to normal, and some other needed like water also. So we have to always bring it to the Lord in prayer, most especially during in a stormy situation. In a stormy situations wherein our life is like shaking, so we must bring it to the Lord. That is the time that we have to nail it to the Lord when we are in a stormy situations in life. All right, so that is the most important things. So what else we learn during the difficulties in life? What else we learn during calamities in life? What else we learn during pandemic time? What else we learn during stormy time in our life? All right. We learn a lot, and I learn a lot as well when we are experiencing some difficulties. It helps us to grow. It makes us more matured, and it also widen our understanding, our mind, and it also helps us also to teach us to be more attentive, to be more aware. So we learn a lot of things, and we see the perspective in life that everything is very short under the sun. And we are just only a pilgrimage, and we are just only a pilgrims. We are just only, in Deutsch, it is a Wanderer. It is a Wanderer in Deutsch when we are only a pilgrims. Opo, be blessed. Philippines is the safest place to live because... Yes, thank you very much, Andreas. And we are just only a pilgrimage. We are just only a pilgrimage here on earth. So when there is a calamities, typhoon comes in our life, and all of the storms that comes in our life, we always have to remember that our citizenship is in heaven. So our home is not here. We are just only a visitors here on earth. And anytime everything will be gone here. It's either in what any means, like by means of typhoon, by means of calamities. We don't know what will be the right time that the Lord will get our borrowed life, all right? So like for example, today a lot of loved ones disappeared because of floods, and a lot of bodies was been flushed by floods, and they didn't expect it that it will happen. In just twinkling of an eye, it happened. So that is why we always to be always ready in our daily life that it will come if it will come. So we are prepared. We are prepared to go to our real home, which is in heaven. All right. So I hope that in the Philippines now they are in a calm and in a peaceful heart, even in a stormy weather outside, because there is a saying that says peace cannot be found when there is no storm. The peace can be found when there is a storm, and then your heart is still peaceful. So that is the measurement of peace. We can measure peace when there are lots of disturbances that happens in our surroundings. All right. So paalam, Andrewski, paalam po. Very interesting and true words. I have to go get ready to sleep. Good night. Stay safe. I'll go to sleep. Good night. All right, Andres K. Thank you very much, and good night. Have a nice sleep. All right. All right. Thank you very much. So have a nice sleep in your place where you are in right now. And thank you very much for coming here in our small house. All right. So for the Philippines out there, all right, salamat. Maraming salamat po, Andrews. Mabuhay. Mabuhay po kayo. Long live. All right? Yes. So, for the Filipino people who are now awake because of the heavy rain and strong typhoon wind, just be calm. Always just to be calm always, and don't feel nervous. all right? Because when we feel nervous in the situations wherein it's a very disturbing situations, and if we feel nervous and then we cannot think properly, the best thing that we can do, all right? So that is why we should have to be always calm in our heart, our mind, be always attentive and be ready, all right? Just prepare the needed things to use, the basic things to use, and to buy some stocks if necessary. The most important thing for the stocks for food, canned goods and noodles. And always bear in mind to charge the battery or the rechargeable lights and all of this power bank for your cell phone, that you can use it to charge your cell phone during brownout. That is the most important things to do. And if it is possible, we can also prepare some medical kits like bunnies and some other things that we can use for basic needs during emergency situations. All right, so we are now 8 o'clock in Europe time. So I hope that everybody in the Philippines is safe at the moment. And we have it here with this update. At 1:30 a.m. today in Philippine time, the center of the eye of Typhoon Ulysses PH, the name of the typhoon is Ulysses, made its third landfall in the vicinity of General Nakar, Quezon. All right, so it already goes to the General Nakar, Quezon. So it is already the third landfall, because a while ago, it was the second landfall was in Rizal and in Quezon City. So now at 1:30 a.m. Philippine time, it is already in General Nakar, Quezon. All right. So hopefully it will go past to the Pacific Ocean so that it will not create a lot of damages, all right? A lot of damages, because they already made a lot of damages lately in somewhere in Bicol region. There are lots already floods, and all of these houses has been already destroyed, and all of these trees was been already fall down, and it creates already a lot of disturbances in the road, because it fall down to the road. So that is the reason why that, all right, that is the reason why that we must be always to be alert and ready. So there was a scaffolding that was falling down somewhere in Binondo because of the typhoon. So that is one of the things that is very dangerous. With a high-rise building, there is always a tendency that there will always some materials that will fall down. So it is not safe to go around during typhoon. It's not safe to go outside, and that is the reason why that we must have to buy some stocks food, good for 2 or to 3 or a week supplies. Because like for example, this one 7 minutes ago, it says that hindi madadaanan ang bahagi ng San Fernando Corner Madrid Street sa San Nicolas Binondo dahil bumagsak ang scaffolding na ito dulot ng malakas na hanging dala ng bagyong Ulysses PH. So, yan ang pinaka delikado lalo na pag may bumagsak. So, napaka risky pag mga bumabagsak na. So, ingat-ingat sa ating mga kababayan. At doon sa Rizal 2 a.m., 2:16 a.m. Philippine time at Rizal, di pa din sila tulog. Dahil hindi pa rin nahinto ang ulan at hangin. Oh, in Rizal, at this moment, it is 2:16 a.m. that 2 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines at Rizal area. They are still awake. They are not sleeping because the wind, the strong wind and rain is not yet done. It's still going on. It's still very strong wind and rain. Malakas pa rin. So, kaya yung mga ibang nandoon, hindi natutulog. Binabantayan nila yung palibot kung anong mangyayari sa sobrang lakas ng hangin. Alright, so napaka delikado talaga ang bagyo dahil hindi natutulog yung ibang tao, lalo na yung mga nasalanta, yung mga natamaan, hindi natutulog dahil kanilang pinapakinggan at nakikiramdam sila sa ihip ng hangin, sa lakas ng ihip ng hangin at ulan. Dahil sa sobrang lakas ng ihip, parang matatanggal yung bubong. So, severe weather bulletin. So, tropical cyclone warning issued at 2 o'clock in the morning Philippine time, valid for broadcast until the next bulletin to be issued at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, Philippine time. So, there will be another update later on today, Philippine time at 5 o'clock in the morning, Philippine time. Alright, so far, the typhoon already moved to the Quezon area. We're in the Quezon province. So, it is already the third landfall. So, we are going to continue to pray that it will go immediately to the Pacific Ocean. Alright? So, thank you everybody for watching. And if you catch this video live, don't forget to leave your comments, your suggestions, and your opinions. And I will be glad to send you a response later on. Alright, so feel free as well to click the like button and to share button. And don't forget as well to click the bell notification button for you to be updated for more updated videos or games on this house. Alright, so see you next time for our live, and hopefully that we can give some enjoyment next time for our live. We are going to have a games next time, and hopefully that everybody will be also here next time during our games to participate our games and makisaya sa ating game sa palaro sa susunod. Alright, so take care everybody in the Philippines, wherever you are in right now, kahit saang mundo ka nandoon, kahit saang lugar ka naroon ngayon, mag-ingat po tayong lahat, keep safe, and have a nice day, good evening, and good night, Europe. Alright, bye!